Listeners of the deep below, we welcome you to a new story, and as always, ask you to visit the author's work, as well as visit us on other social media platforms. Welcome to the story. Alright, I'll admit, as a Zoom moderator, I listen in on everything, just to detect propaganda and such. It's pretty tough, but I can access the outside world with it. Learned so much about America in my stay. I can't say I hate other people and remain incredibly nationalistic. Quite the contrary. But hey, I get what I need and not what I want. I'll be talking about 10 weird calls I've had. One of them took place just about a week ago. I was in a regular meeting between 5 very skinny American men, and I swear, it's not some sort of dick-flinging competition like the last one. I hope you shudder as much as I did. Alright, it was odd at first, since they were going through a playlist, but they were disgruntled by something. And so, they found it. It was an odd list of videos in binary and Chinese, most of which translate to video 1 and the end for starters. They went through video 1, and I watched as they fixated their eyes at a shared screen. It played off like this. A girl was crying in a corner while a man zooms in slowly, and then she turns around. Her eyes were gouged out, and she held them to her chest. I unknowingly gasped, and they heard me. "Who's that?" I whimpered until they dismissed it. I was distraught, to say the least. I mostly saw weird experimental films and beheadings at most, but not visceral, subtle child torture. I continued. I pressed on. Next video. She was so lonely. Not the same girl, but a quadriplegic woman with her head down. She had a needle shoved underneath her eye. I used to be a doctor, and I knew what it was. I turned off my mic and vomited into a bucket I placed in case of stuff like this. I emptied my entire breakfast. The needle was about as long as a rod, and it was underneath her eye, piercing the back of her skull. Her eyes held no emotion, and as she looked at the camera, a man laughs behind the camera and the viewers. Those sick bastards. They laughed too. Eyes welled up, and I screamed. Please, make it stop, I thought. But I had 2 more hours of work, so I reluctantly look back. 3 more videos. I'll make it, I said. I sighed, and I clicked on the video entitled Beauty Behold, and it was just a white room, until a girl with 2 heads approached and showed off her stitches. The head next to her was rotting, and the gangrene surrounding the stitches looked like they were months old. I could not, and shut down my laptop. I got a bit of vodka and took 3 shots. Then went back to more vomit and watch. Alright. Last 2 videos. Is she okay? Was the second to the last. There was a dead body. No, it was alive, and it was of a boy. A boy attached to a deer with hooves and antlers. The cameraman ran up, and I saw the outline of a lab coat. I know who this is. It's... Sorry. I got too carried away. The young man is basically a dead man by how he appeared. I couldn't take it, and looked up the playlist myself, and shut down the call, and told them their time was up, which was unauthorized, but I didn't care. They took it well, and I went to the web. The last video was the end. All I saw were all the victims lined up against the wall. All were dying and blindfolded, weeping loudly. They were all shot in a stance, and I blacked out. Hours came to pass, and I awoke in a cold sweat I did not expect. To see such graphic content, and I refused to subject myself to any more. I guess I was not really cut out for this job, unlike all the other people who watched dozens of these kinds of videos through multiple reports from other unsuspecting viewers. But I do believe that what I've unearthed was beyond the scope of what they've seen, and I worry that trying to dig deeper into this mystery could lead to devastating consequences. I don't believe I could have helped these people, just like the many others who had become victims of such gruesome acts.